controversy surrounding meat consumption has reached a fever pitch, with influencers, documentaries, and vocal plant-based advocates condemning it as a health and environmental menace. However, this narrative overlooks a crucial fact. Humans have successfully included meat in their diets for millions of years. The real issue isn't meat itself, but rather the dramatic transformation of meat production through industrialization, creating a stark contrast between traditional farming practices and today's factory operations. Modern livestock conditions paint a troubling picture. 70% of U.S. chickens are confined to windowless sheds, and factory-farmed pigs require constant antibiotics just to survive their deplorable living conditions. This industrial approach stands in sharp contrast to the grass-fed beef roasts, pasture-raised chickens, and wild-caught fish that nourished previous generations. The conveyor belt mentality of modern meat production has fundamentally altered both the quality of meat and its impact on human health. Factory farming operations have created disturbing new norms in meat production, prioritizing profit over quality and animal welfare. Chickens are engineered to grow so rapidly, their legs often break under their own weight. Cattle, naturally grass eaters, are forced to consume corn and soy diets that produce meat high in inflammatory omega-6 fats rather than beneficial omega-3s. The stress levels in factory-farmed pigs result in cortisol-laden meat that reflects their poor living conditions. Perhaps most alarming is that 75% of U.S. antibiotics are used in livestock, not for human medical needs, but simply to keep animals alive in substandard conditions that would shock most consumers. While the meat debate continues, a more significant health threat often goes overlooked: ultra-processed foods. These industrial products, from neon-colored chips to sodas with unpronounceable ingredients, make up 60% of the typical American diet. They've been strongly linked to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. A 2023 study demonstrated that replacing processed foods with whole foods significantly reduces chronic illness risk. It's particularly ironic that society scrutinizes grass-fed steak, while accepting breakfast cereals loaded with 20 grams of sugar per serving and other processed foods that could survive a nuclear winter. The solution isn't eliminating meat, but choosing better quality sources. Grass-fed beef contains CLA, conjugated linoleic acid, which actually aids in fat burning, plus essential iron and vitamin B12. Pasture-raised chickens provide naturally occurring vitamin D from sun exposure, which is reflected in the meat's quality and taste. Wild-caught salmon delivers brain-boosting omega-3s that farm-raised alternatives fed on pelletized feed often lack. Even when it comes to processed meats like bacon, choosing heritage pork from properly raised animals makes a significant difference in both nutritional value and ethical considerations. The key to a healthy diet lies in following the 80-20 rule. 80% whole foods, including vegetables, quality meats, and nuts, and 20% for less optimal choices. It's crucial to avoid the big four processed food pitfalls: seed oils, refined sugar, artificial flavors, and heavily preserved foods. A useful guideline is to eat foods your ancestors would recognize. They weren't consuming protein bars with 25 ingredients, but rather whole, natural foods that didn't require a chemistry degree to understand. The evidence points to a clear conclusion. Meat itself isn't the villain. It's the industrialized production methods and ultra-processed foods that deserve scrutiny. By choosing ethically raised meat and avoiding laboratory-created food products, we can maintain both health and tradition. The focus should be on quality, not elimination, when it comes to meat consumption. This means seeking out meat from animals raised in natural conditions, eating a balanced diet of whole foods, and being mindful of food sourcing and quality. This perspective challenges the oversimplified anti-meat narrative while highlighting the real issues in our modern food system. It's not about whether to eat meat, but rather about how that meat is produced and what else comprises our diet. The solution lies in returning to more traditional, whole food-based eating patterns, while being conscious of the source and quality of our food choices. By making informed decisions about meat consumption and overall diet, we can better align our eating habits with both health and environmental considerations.